I was so shocked to taste a wine 100 years old, Sauternes, last night.
Yeah, the Sauternes, you can keep
Forever.
as long as you want, forever. Yeah.
Italian Wine Travel with Stevie Kim.
Okay, welcome to our Bordeaux special with Italian Wine Podcast on the road series with our dear wine friend and wine consigliere Bernard Burtschy with us throughout the entire journey. And of course, we have spoken about, the left bank, but of all the dry reds mostly, but we cannot go home without learning more about the sweet wines. Once very popular, it's a little bit less popular, but also part of Sauternes and Balzac. We were privileged to visit Château Kim. What can you say about Château Kim?
Château Kim is a fascinating place because it was created by a woman,
Josephine,
and she created the concept of great wine. How to manage, to create, to find the market. It was 2 or 3 centuries ago, and she created what is today the concept of great wine. Yquem is a special place because it's on the hill, and of course the climate is very changing in Bordeaux. The vintages are not the same. When the vintage is very warm, but the south face is too much. But the colder west face is interesting. And if the vintage is very rainy, they use only the south face. And they blend the different parts. Since that was Josephine invented the blending, how to blend the different places, the different grapes, and
very
so on.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it is made with special grapes were attacked by the noble rot. And she created how to select, to pick not everything in one time, but to take only the berries, the perfect berries, and to come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
So
10
multiple
times.
passes.
Yes, and you have 2 kinds of vintages. If it is made like in 2003 in 2 weeks, you have not the same complexity if it's picked during 2 months. And that is Josephine. She created the sweet wine with a lot of complexity. And that is Yquem is probably the perfect place.
So what do you think about the vintage presentation?
2022 is a challenging vintage for sweet wine, and it was too warm, and at beginning the berries dried out, but that is okay. You have a lot of concentration of sugar, but you have not the complexity. You need to have the botrytis. And to have the botrytis, you need to have an inoculation before, but if you have no rain, that doesn't work. Okay. And then that is a place where usually that works at least 8 times to 10, 9 times, but it doesn't exist 72, 74, and so on. There are several vintages. Yquem doesn't exist because they are not able to make a great sweet wine.
Yeah, so they don't produce, every vintages,
Yes.
only if the conditions are met.
Yes.
We also tasted actually Suduiraut.
Suduiraut is a sandy soil.
Okay, sandy soil.
Yes, and sandy soil usually is lighter. You have less acidity in the wine, but when you have botrytized grapes, you have the acidity with the botrytis, and it seems always more powerful because you have less acidity. In the other hand, you have Balzac, that is limestone. Limestone, you have always more freshness. And with the same level of sugar, it seems lighter because you have more acidity. Okay. And you have clay, like in Sauternes, you have always more power. And Yquem has all the soils.
Right, all different types. That's how they blend.
Yes, and you have 2 grapes. One is Semillon. Usually most of the Sauternes are made with 80, 90, 100% Semillon. And the other, you have Sauvignon, has always more acidity, more freshness. less complexity, but it brings the acidity.
So let me ask you this. Sweet wines are becoming less popular. So I see a lot of these producers going into dry wine business. What are your thoughts about that?
Today, the people want to have more freshness, bubbles and so on, probably with the global warming. But in the history, that is a cycle. But it's not really coming back.
But is it fair to say, to generalize by saying that Barsac is more value for money than Sauternes?
No, because the great Barsac are the same, and there are a lot of people in the world, they love Barsac. Yeah. And roughly the first grow of Sauternes. In Barsac, you have a great wine that is Climens. It was 50 years ago. Climens was roughly at the same level as Iken.
I see.
Yeah. And when you taste 21, 28, 29, perhaps Climens is greater.
To summarize, the vintage 2022 of Sauternes and Barsac, was it up to your expectation after the en-primeur?
Yes, but it's like as the red wine. They need more time, perhaps, because it's difficult always to taste and to compare sweet wine with the level of sugar.
Yeah.
It's easier in Barsac, always. Okay? And they need to make choices, because before the portraitise, it was a period the berries dried out.
Right.
And with a lot of concentration, but less complexity. Sauternes or Barsac, they don't sell so easy. For example, 2021 was a very small production. You have more freshness, more complexity, completely different. But in 2022, like as the red wine, buy the second label.
Aha.
Yeah, in the second label, you have less power. But you have so much power in the great label, the second label. And we tasted very nice second label this morning.
Okay. So my last question for you is the ageability of Sauternes. How long can it age? Because I was so shocked to taste the wine again, thanks to Olivier, 100-year-old Sauternes last night.
Yeah, the Sauternes, you can keep
Forever.
as long as you want, forever. Yeah, forever. Because the sugar is the best way for the conservation.
Right.
Yeah, and to have a Sauternes 30 years old, 50 years old, no problem.
Even longer than the reds,
Yeah,
right?
much longer.
Just to close our series, our Bordeaux special, Getting to Know Bordeaux with Bernard Burtschy, would you like to tell our audience anything special about this place? And just on a personal note, I would like to thank, of course, the Grand Cru Classé 1855 for having organized our journey here in Bordeaux. But what would you like to say to our audience?
I am fascinated by the people that created sweet wine, because sweet wine is a place you have more water, and that is a big problem to make red wine. Okay? And to transform this problem to ability to make great white wine with sugar and with botrytis. And it's the same in Pauillac. And I am fascinated that they were able to find what is the best for each place. And so different wine with the same grape. But I am fascinated in Barolo too for the same reasons.
Right.
That is the human ability to create that. That is a genius.
Okay. And with that, I think we can close. Thank you for joining us on our journey to Bordeaux with Bernard Burtschy. And now, finally,
Yeah.
Chin Chin,
Chin
Bernard, thank you so much for everything, and hope you can join us on our next journey on Italian Wine Podcast.